Hey everybody, Rodman here. Thanks for tuning in to Kenshi Birth of a Hive, episode 11. If you need a recap of the rules and goals, here they are. And let's get going. So last episode we got some beautiful research items, and I think what I'm going to do here is redesign this building just a little bit. So we're going to move from metal storage to general boxes. General boxes can stack the items a little bit better. And that will be proved to be very, very useful. And then I'm going to upgrade the research bench up a little bit so that we can get some beautiful research going. Silvershade and Ron are going to continue on their trek down to Squin to sell our prisoner, or really bounty. We're not slavers, we're bounty hunters, I guess. I don't know. Killing a cannibal doesn't make me feel bad, if that's what you're wondering. So in the construction of these boxes, we'll be able to really organize a lot of the loot that we had on people, like Cookie, for instance. Cookie will be able to ditch so much of this stuff. And in fact, this is kind of Queen's backpack, so Queen's going to reclaim that backpack. I can even put the backpack full of gear into general storage, which is one way to really consolidate a lot of stuff. And let's go through everyone else that has storage. So Pillar has a lot of stuff, has a okay, this food should go somewhere. Has a wooden trader backpack, we'll put away for now. Actually, wooden trader backpack is particularly good for a farmer to have, because farmers have to move a large amount of crops, so I'm going to have Pillar keep that. And then put away those building materials. Let's see, Queen, you have a backpack to reclaim. Cool. And oops, that's not what I meant to do. Put the bolts away. Now let's get rid of some of the hemp and stuff that was in these metal backpacks, because we're going to move these metal boxes, not backpacks. Move these metal boxes so that we can build a larger research bench. So likewise, she's going to reclaim these older research books, which are antiquated, and replace them. So as to get a bigger bench that hopefully will fit. So Queen, let's go ahead and loot this stuff. Cool. Alright, so now enter, but stand at the edge. So now we have a nice open room for research bench level 2, and it fits. That's fantastic. And I'll even try to push it to, okay, I will with limited amounts of success, try to push it to one corner to free up space. So this improved research bench will allow us to research higher level tiered technology, which is going to be very, very, very useful. Ron and Silver seems to be under attack, so let me go check in on them. The issue is probably, oh, it's a gorilla. Well, we'll outrun a gorilla. Gorillas are nasty, but tends to run slower than big things, of course, and are less interested in cannibalizing people, in my experience. So, yeah, possible to outrun. So we're getting that constructed. Oops, I didn't mean to open the tutorial. And then let's go through everyone's inventory. Okay, so these guys have iron plates, but they're constructing with it. That looks good. Queen here, you are going to get... Who had that food? Someone had a bunch of dried meat. Maybe they didn't. Thought I saw dried meat somewhere. There's fowl meat. That's not what I want. So we're starting to get pretty hungry. I might need to go over to where the big things are and scavenge for food. But I think as soon as I get the ability to create chew sticks, I'll be golden again. I'll be able to feed myself pretty effectively. So Queen, you're going to make that torch so I don't have a light penalty while researching. And the research bench level 2 is done. Nice. All right, let's dump the research books in there. And the first thing I want to research is probably food, right? So we want desert cooking, which allows us to make chew sticks. All right, and then the other issue here is this bench here is, there we go, unstaffed. Because I broke down the old research bench, this one didn't have staff on it, so to speak. So let's see, what else do we want? I would like makeshift walls to defensive walls. And that will allow us to make a bridge. I'm not going to use walls for the sake of walls. I'm going to use it for bridging. What else do we want? A better well wouldn't be terrible. Biofuel and fuel generator would be great. And exterior lighting. Okay, so we have all that now queued up. Alright, let's continue. I'll continue watching Ron. Oh, I'm being apparently chased by a bunch of hungry bandits that are actually using their words for once. Not to say that I'm going to give them anything. So Ron and Silvershade are very hungry, so those bandits are barking up very much the wrong tree. Because neither of them have food. But I'm loading Squin right now, so I'm going to wait for it to load. Which brings me to some tips. So Ron, the patron Ron, and not the hiver Ron, but they're named after the same, had some tips for me. You can hand in bounties at half price if they're dead. Yes, I just wanted to make full price. Soon Thorns won't be able to enter any of the hive buildings because they'll be too big. Right now he's a pup, but eventually that will change. So that's a good point. Oh, these bandits are attacking me now. That's cute. Well, the guards of Squin are about to squish you. What are some of the other tips? General storage has more space than metal storage. Yep, I just replaced those for that very reason. He also mentions that I might want to build a gate to allow the task of throwing people out of town. So that's a very good point as well. Although I'm sort of curious if throwing them out of town means into the ocean. I wouldn't be against that, but it does involve a lot of swimming. So if you ever want to hand in a bounty, you can just talk to the guard at the desk. If there is no guard at the desk, you can just put them into the prison cells that are up a few levels, and you get money that way as well. So I just handed over what's his name, and now at this point, I am looking for more research books. I know, crazy, right? But research is important. And then maybe I'll head over to the hub to buy some backpacks from the Shinobi Thieves. Okay, so they have 9 cotton here. I would love cotton to be able to start a cotton farm. So I'm going to fill up, what is that, 6, 9? Alright, so we have 9 cotton now. Silvershade's meds are also looking kind of low, so I'm going to buy some more meds, just in case something terrible happens to me on my way home. And then let me pop into the bar here and buy a little bit of food, just to keep them going. A Leviathan pockets. Huh. It's a Leviathan carrying. Speaking of which, there is a backpack vendor here. Or travel gear as it's called. But The Shinobi Thieves sells me travel gear at discount prices, whereas this guy will charge full price. So if they have a bone... Oh, they have a bone dog backpack. Definitely buying that. That will help me immensely. In fact, they have 2 bone dog backpacks, but I don't have room for the other one. They have some normal backpacks, but nothing I'm really after. There is, however, some maps. So engineer map, kind of expensive. Some of these are expensive. The Lost Library one I'll buy, and then they have more books. What is this? Maps of the swamp. All right, more research books. And that way, we'll be able to basically research all that we want. We are getting a little bit encumbered, but soon Ron will have a backpack. So I'm going to head to the way station because I need 1 more cotton to start my my cotton farm. Whoops, just hit my mic. Hope that wasn't very noisy for you all. And... oh, you know what? Actually, no, forget that trip. Right now, I'm going to head to Hub to go to the Shinobi Thieves to buy a backpack for Ron so that he can run around a little bit better. We just got desert cooking, so let's switch back here because we are getting hungry. So, for me to make use of the desert cooking, I'm going to need a cooking stove. And cooking stoves, if you have blue here, it means it needs to be placed inside a building and it will warn you as such. So we're going to put the cooking stove pretty much right next to the research bench, because that seems to be a viable spot. Alright, so we'll get the cooking stove built up. And then everyone that was holding iron plates, I'm going to have them put their plates away. They were just so eager to do it. I think what I could do is... Green, you're going to be the only engineer so that we don't have massive extra stacks of plates. Everyone else will just stay working. Okay, so we're almost near first harvest. That will be good. Alright, so now, on this cooking stove, I have the ability to make chew sticks, which takes water and cacti into food. So we're going to do this and repeat Q, which means do it forever. And then for now, Cookie, you are going to be taken off of the stone mine and put on the cooking stove. And... she, as you can see, is carrying water. And then I will fill her inventory full of cacti. And then the other thing is I need power for this. So actually you're going to go back in the mining for now. I don't have biofuel or fuel theory yet. I plan on getting it, but... the easy way, which is not the way I'm going to use, is wind. Wind, especially the light wind generators, given that the wind here is pretty bad, would be a great way to generate power. However, I think for added benefit, we're not going to utilize wind. Crazy, I know, but... alternatively, we could also start a bread oven and a grain silo. It's weird that it's so tilted. Maybe I'll have it face one another. And then that will allow us to make bread. And that does not require power. What that will require is wheat straw at the grain silo. Flour. But flour I think needs to be placed inside, so we're not going to do flour. And then bread storage, a bread basket. And we can put that inside. And yeah, that's about it, I think. food store. I'll just put the food store in here as well. Oh, you know what? I can put that outside. So let me undo and put this one outside. Alright, so green will start to build that stuff. I think initially, unless I'm starving, I'm going to reinvest the wheat I get out of the wheat farm back into a bigger wheat farm. Unless, of course, I'm starving. But if I'm really, really hungry, what I could do is organize a looting of the, Beak Things and Garu crew. Because that is always a way to get fed. So I did have some comments asking me about crashing. Because Kenshi, unfortunately, I won't lie, has a tendency to crash. And it can be pretty annoying. So ways to avoid crashing are using compressed textures mod, which I have linked. Trying not to have too many separate groups traveling around the world at the same time, because that means that more zones have to load into your memory. Pausing before you switch zones. Don't switch zones too often. Don't run at the max speed like this, because that tends to crash people a lot more often. And lowering graphics settings. All of those things are ways to avoid the crashing to desktop. There is 2 error logs that you can take a look at, and the developers are very responsive about if you do crash, taking a look at your crash logs and addressing the issues promptly. So if you are having terrible luck with, or terrible bad luck with crashing, you can go ahead and... Wait, who just found an outpost? I'm really confused. Who is even in a position to find outposts? Oh, I found... Okay, yeah, I found that outpost. Yeah, and I would say what I would first do is disable all your mods, lower your graphics, disable all the mods except for the compressed textures, lower your graphics to the lowest they can go, and avoid using 3 speed, and keep all of your guys together in one big group. And if that doesn't solve your crashing, then troubleshooting with on the Steam forums or on the Kenshi forums or somewhere where there's some sort of authority about what to do when you crash a lot. Alright, so we are looking for the Shinobi Thieves trader. They wear a backpack, so they're easier to spot. So there they are. And we are looking to buy a Thieves backpack. So there we go. Black plate jacket I tend to like a lot, but we're going to save our money. This costs some. Okay, so let's put away stuff that was weighing us down. And then Silvershade can share some weight with Ron. And that way, no one's encumbered. 25, 24. Perfect. They're going to be returning home at max speed. I like it. Alright, so we have books a billion here. I'm running a bookstore. Okay, let's give Silvershade a little bit of food. And at the speed that they're running at, I'm really not even worried about them too much. I'm not going to say I'm going to ignore them, but I'm not worried about them too much getting jumped on their way home. So now we're making or researching defensive walls, which allow us to make a bridge, which is pretty cool. And then after that, we're going to be working on biofuel and fuel generator theory to be able to get some electricity going so that we can make chew sticks. Realizing that everyone is quite hungry in this community. Alright, so the bread oven will allow... So the way this works is the wheat straw gets processed into straw flour at like a... off the top of my head, something like a 10-to-1 ratio. It takes a lot of wheat straw to make straw flour, and then the straw flour combines with water to make bread. And bread is edible, but it's also an ingredient for other recipes. So, for instance, a dust witch is bread plus cactus, which actually would be probably a better use of the cactus. So if you take a look, chew sticks are 20 nutrition for 8 cactus, and dust switches are 70 nutrition for bread and cactus. Bread alone is about 30 nutrition, so it turns something worth 20 and 30, which would be 50, into 70. So what I'm going to do is actually make dust switches instead of chew sticks, as they are going to be the better, oops, what am I doing? The better item to make. We can live off dust witches and stuff like that for now. But what I think I'm going to do is reinvest my wheat farm now that it's about to be harvestable. I'm going to reinvest the crops into a bigger farm. Our stone mine, these miners are getting so good that they're outpacing the processor here. And then we're also going to have a backpack for thorns. So one of the curious things about this mod is the backpack allows you to move twice the speed, which means basically that thorns won't be slow anymore. But everyone's getting very, very hungry. Oh, there's some dried meat on this fire. The queen will eat it. Alright, so now that we have defensive walls, what you can do for a bridge here is put a defensive wall like this and treat it as a way to walk on the walls to get from one side of the island to the other. Something like this. So walls can have ramps, and we can put ramps on either end. But what I'm going to do, because this is a big investment project, is make it look nice the first time. Where the ramps actually look pretty usable. Nope. You can, of course, undo just partial. And then also we could decide to build it from here, too. Actually, that might make more sense, given the contours of the terrain. Okay, that didn't go far enough. And we can add to it. Just sometimes when you add to a wall, it doesn't look quite right. And I can't seem to put a ramp there. Can I put a ramp here? Okay. I will put a ramp there and then work on the rest of this. That should be rampable. And it is. And then what we could do is cancel some of these end pieces. Oops. I canceled one too many. Confirm. And then go here and dismantle the pieces that we're not going to need. Alright, so there is a very big bridge project. But that will allow us to traverse the water without swimming. This takes a lot of building materials, but building materials, of course, are renewable resources, if you recall. So what I'm going to do is take a borrow here and put a borrow on the manual stone. Green is just going to be mining when he's not engineering. So we have 3 people in the stone processor at all times. Pillar is harvesting the wheat farm here, and that will allow us to upgrade the wheat farm. Green, I don't know where you're going, but guess I have to tell you where to work. Building materials. No, quit running off. He's trying to, like, build it from one weird side to another. Sometimes, because a lot of the times when you're building walls, you can run around and construct the wall pretty reasonably. But when it's a really long project like this, sometimes you need to sort of encourage them to not do something stupid. So biofuel distillery is going to let me make power out of crop. I will put it over here. Put it right there. And green is going to eagerly build that. That's fine. How's Ron and Silver's progress? Where are they exactly? They are near the hub. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need one more cotton. And they don't have it. That's fine. I'll go to a nearby way station. So the nearest way station... Well, Stack's not going to sell me anything. Let's check this outpost. I forget if that's a way station or not, but we'll get close and see. I think the rebel base actually to the north will have some stuff too. But I want to check that outpost first. Alright, checking in on green over here. Biofuel for green fruit is being built. Which also means that I'm going to need to farm green fruit, which is vegetable farm. Now, the green fruit yield here is high, but I don't have any green fruit on me at the moment, which means that that I'm not immediately going to be making power. So I'm going to need to buy some green fruit as well. And I don't think there's an alternative fuel source. Yo, green, I don't know what you're doing, man, but could you stop? What I could do is pause the bridges that are kind of down the way to prevent him from running to build the stuff that's far away. But back to Ron and Silver. They are way up on this outpost. This outpost is owned by no one, it looks like. Okay, well, I tried. All right, let's go to the rebel base. And switch back over to green, who is trying to spelunk his way into constructing this this wall. Frustratingly enough. I don't have a lot else going on right now, so I can micromanage him to make sure he's behaving. I think he's trying to start at this end, which is kind of the dangerous end given the spider situation that we have. Alternatively, or additionally, I should say, I do believe there's a... Oh, Boro has it. Alright, green gets the backpack, so you can carry a few more building materials. And then, additionally, we are going to trade some of those bolts so we can free up even more slots. Now you can build more effectively. There's a nice little island here, huh? Now the danger, of course, of building a wall is I'm not the only one that can use it. I'm totally fine with this, however. I just want to make it known that, yes, enemies will be able to use it too. Alright, Ron and Silver at the rebel base. If they don't have what I'm looking for, I can always buy it elsewhere. And they don't. Of course they don't. Alright, let's buy whatever food they have, though, because I might be hungry. And let's head down to this way station. Man, they're really bouncing all over the place here. Actually, they would have it in Squin. I don't need to go all the way to the way station. Alright, let's switch back to green. Who... Fine. You want to build from this end? God. That's fine. It's not, but, like, I'm not going to perpetually fight him on him being dumb. Well, I'm already third or a quarter of the way there. Something like that. This gets green some swimming training, too, I suppose. He's... Let's see, swimming at 34, and obviously that's skyrocketing pretty quick. And the higher it goes, the faster you swim. It's not a terrible way to train up. Alright, these... I think what I'll do is... camping, right? Because they don't cost anything to construct. I'll use them. You know, I could even honestly use the campfires for as a light source here, I think. So let's see if that's even possible. No, it's not acting as a light source, oddly enough. As you can see, there's a working in darkness penalty here that not everyone is going to get. So if I micromanage Beep and Obaro, eventually this place will be better illuminated. Come on. Alright, lights. I'll put a torch post here. And then, of course, Pillar is also working in the dark. Which means lower yields from this stuff. So Pillar, for now, I want you to mine the stone. Okay, there we go. We have a torch post there. Green has nothing left to do. Alright, green then can reinvest the crops. Ron and silver are aimless. That means they are where they need to be. Let's pop our heads into the general trade goods store, which is here. It's not open yet, but it will be open soon. And buy that last cotton that we're looking for. Switching back over to green. Alright, we'll let them go build that nonsense. This wheat farm is now a little bit bigger, as you can see. We reinvested a lot of the wheat straw and built it bigger. Green, I don't know what you're doing. I don't think you know what you're doing either. He doesn't have anything to do because he's just waiting for more building materials to be produced. Pillar, let's go back to farming now that it's daytime and you don't have that penalty. And eventually I'll try to illuminate everything here, but I don't have that kind of moolah right now to do it. Another thing I could do is to try to buy green fruit, but I'll probably need to buy a trader's backpack to do it. That's okay. I would invest that way if I could. So maybe that's what I'll go ahead and do. We wanted cotton, and let's see. I'll poke in, see if I can't buy a training backpack. So here's a wooden backpack that will allow me to carry a lot more stuff. Silver shade. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is drop a lot of this stuff. Out of the Thieves backpack. Silvershade's backpack is smaller, so I'm going to give this one to Silvershade and have... I'll organize their stuff better in a moment. Throw that big backpack on. And then this big backpack will be able to stockpile the cotton and everything else more effectively. Alright. Unless, of course, we set it up like that. So he's not all that encumbered, and he's carrying a lot more stuff. This is turning into a big old trade run, isn't it? Alright, Silver Shade, now switched backpacks. I also just researched the furniture stuff that I had because I have a research bench level 2. Then Ron is going to give Silver Shade a lot of these books here until Silver Shade is relatively encumbered. Maybe 19 miles an hour. $20. Okay, perfect. So now that frees 19. But you know what? We could organize this a little bit better to... Voila. 20 miles an hour and basically carrying everything else. Perfect. Alright. Then Ron and Silvershade. Ron follows Silvershade. Silvershade head down to the way station. We are going to try to buy green fruit to make a green fruit farm so that we can make biofuel. So that's exciting. Let's check back onto Green here. And he's doing good. Getting that built, I guess. We're like halfway already. This, my village, or whatever you want to call it, will not, does not really very heavily rely on building materials as a, yeah. So as a direct result, we'll be able to invest building materials into projects rather than buildings. Because traditionally in the game, the buildings that you make are very building material heavy, but we don't really have building materials. Alright, they're getting attacked over here. Probably by bandits. Oh, no, dust bandits. And they call me training dummies. You're the dummy. Bet you can't catch me. I kind of hope that they follow me all the way to the way station because that would allow me to loot them for money. Come on. Load the zone. Load. Right now I'm oh, there we go. Zone's loaded. Yep, I think they're going to chase me all the way to the outpost. The way station. That would be most ideal. Get the way station guards to basically cut them a new one. And then, because they're dust bandits, they actually have some equipment to sell. Oh, we gotta load Sten Desert first. Come on, Sten. There we go. So we're here for... $10 cotton. And this dude doesn't have green fruit, but he does have research books if I want to buy more. I don't. I'd really like the green fruit. Hello, Dust Bandit. But what I'll do is I'll hang around and just loot these morons that decided to walk straight into a very... Oh, and he's the boss. Super moron is what he is now. He's a naked dude, too. I'm gonna see if there's a bounty on his head as well. So I don't mind turning him in. Alright, Silver Shade. I don't know if Dust Bandits are city people. But alright, whatever you say. Lovely way to make my money back, I gotta say. Alright, so once he's done committing a crime, I can... No, there's no bounty on this boss. despite the fact that he was just annihilated. No bounty on his head. Alright, Gills, what do you got for me? You have no green fruit. Trying to think of who would have... Probably back in Squin would have the best chance at some green fruit, I'd say. There is, however, Zill, a drifter prince, who is technically recruitable. I'm going to talk to him, but obviously I can only recruit with Queen. So, 'tis the rules you laid out for me, and I will abide. So before I leave here, let's go and... Well, you know what? Actually, Ron, you can split up from Silvershade. So Silvershade is going to hang out around this area here and loot these morons that decided to kill themselves. Or at least maim themselves. While Ron goes in search of green fruit. Was Silvershade really naked? No, he had the shoddy armor. Okay, that's right. Not that that's doing very much for him. I heard the base's crossbows cranking out. Looks like they're chasing Ron here, but I don't see any more dust bandits to be looted. I do see some blood, so where there's blood, there's dust bandits. Oh, and this one's a bowman. Lovely. Not a bowman anymore. Can you be a bowman when you don't have a bow? I don't think so. Oop, I was giving Ron orders. I meant to give him to Silvershade. And we've made back a considerable amount of our money just selling off these dust bandit crap. So that works for me. Taking just a quick peek. I do find it particularly challenging to spot them. They do blend in pretty well. Alright, at this point, Silvershade start following Ron. Ron, let's switch to you. You're pretty close to Squin. Oh, there's a dust bandit camp. That's probably why there's an increased amount of you guys. I'm assuming it's a dust bandit camp. In this region of the world, it's wouldn't be cannibals. Alright, I'm going to leave the game paused until I load Squin up. There we go. Not to cause a heart attack to my game. It's around noonday, so there should... Yep, these shops are still open. Pack for more goods? You damn right I am. I already checked you, and you didn't have any green fruit. You know, I'm pretty sure the hivers would have green fruit. But they're only ever going to trade with my, my queen. They wouldn't trade with anyone else. So we're leaving the way station, and... Let's see. I could also go to the swamp village. They might have green fruit. I don't think green fruit is a swamp crop, though. So, yeah. I think it's a pretty low chance of that. Shark probably would, though. I don't know. We'll run back to Stack and to the rubble base, and then we'll go home. Feeling defeated from a lack of green fruit. I can always have the queen make a run for green fruit. At some point. To the hive traders. So we're having these guys rendezvous together. Ooh, wow. What is going on over here? It is a pack Garu from the Traders Guild getting absolutely stomped by wolves. And some guards, too. Oh my goodness. Glad that ain't me. I might stick around, though. See what kind of, yeah, because these trader guilds, they'll probably end up winning and putting down the wolves. and then there will be a lot of wolves for me to pick over. So Ron, about that food shortage we were having back at home. This might not be green fruit, but it will solve some other problems I was having. Definitely worth keeping a close eye out on your surrounding territory, because you can very easily find yourself in a extremely fortuitous situation if you notice things like a giant battle between groups where one group won't kill you at the end. Now Ron is going to be super encumbered by all this, but I'll go ahead and sell these leathers once I get to a point where I can. Additionally, I might want to take a look at where the wolf... come on, that's one wolf? I guess it is. Okay. Where that wolf den was, because... I picked up some random flesh cleaver because, yeah, the wolf den was here. There's going to be some additional weapons that you're usually near wolf dens. Alright, so now we're super encumbered. Let's just go to the way station, that's where we're closest, and sell off the bounty, the spoils that we just got, and we'll keep a lot of the raw meat. But I don't want to stay permanently super encumbered. All right, so into here, back for more goods. Yeah, I guess I am. It'd be nice if you guys had green fruit, though. Let me know when you ever stockpile it. All right, so Silver Shade is all unencumbered in air quotes. Still slightly encumbered, but Ron is super encumbered. Yet another wall being constructed. Alright, that worked out. Okay, so he moves at 18. Okay, that's about as slow as I'd be willing to move. Because any slower and the screeching bandits would catch me. So let's bring that meat home, and we'll just worry about the green fruit some other time. So Ron, you're going to be running that away. Let's check back on green's progress. Oh, it's looking pretty good. Pretty darn good. Wow, we actually are out of building material. Okay, Oboro. Go back to stone mining. My guess is the light made the difference. Okay, so if output is full, that means the farm is no longer being productive. So that means I need to store my cacti. And this is the breadbasket right here, I believe. I'm going to store my cactus in there. Right next to where the breadbasket is. So that's next to the cooking stove, which will allow me to make the dust witches quickly. And we'll retask Green's building material that he was going to put into a wall to the cactus box so that we can start to get cactus. Which means that Pillar, your task here, is going to be hauling crops. So when there's wheat straw to haul, haul it. And then when there's cactus to haul, haul it. And that way these farms won't be ever idle. And then there's cactus and wheat straw ready to be used in the production of food. Cool. And now these farms can be harvested again, because this one was just waiting there, waiting to be harvested. I just discovered AdMag. I don't think You know what? Alright. Let's go dip into AdMag for green fruit. Because I could sell the raw food, some of it, just to replace with a stack of green fruit, and that would still leave me many stacks of raw meat waiting to be utilized. But, if I'm being honest and looking at the clock here, I'm just about out of time. You know, I'm going to wait for me to get all the way into AdMag so that I don't leave on a cliffhanger. Plus, it's safer to load and save your game in cities, because when you load a game, look at all the heat. When you load a game, whatever movement orders that you had issued aren't issued anymore. So if you forget that you left yourself out in the wilderness, you're a little vulnerable until you tell yourself to move. And I'm definitely guilty of that, where I tell myself, oh yeah, get to place X or Y or Z, and then I forget. Someone's attacking green. Ooh, it's an iron spider. Oh boy. Swim! Luckily, through all of this practice, I could swim pretty good. Queen is getting real hungry. Everyone's getting real hungry. I cannot wait for these guys to get back home. So let's take a look. I'm looking for green fruit. I don't know why a bartender would have it, but I'm going to ask anyway. No surprise there, no green fruit. Robo packs. Interesting. I was like, what is that? Because that's not an item that you normally see. So bars, faction base. What is this? Residence. General shop. General shop should have green fruit. Thank you for the warm welcome. It's odd coming from a Shek, but I guess you are a vendor. None here either. There is books. Okay, I could buy all 4. The thing is, the one place I know that there would be some green fruit is the Holy Nation farmers, but they're not going to talk to the likes of me. They often sell green fruit. World's End might have some too. Who knew that this would be such a problem? What I could do is check the abandoned city that was over here for green fruit. That's a possibility as well. But like I said, I am just about out of time. So for everyone that has been providing feedback that would normally go on a poll, I will call for feedback for polling upcoming in maybe a week or 2. Feel free to drop me that information just so that I can have a feel for what you guys want, what direction you want this this series to go into. Just some feedback about that. A lot of people have been suggesting, hey, maybe you want to think about a fishing mod. Some others are saying, hey, maybe you should allow princes to also recruit, which would be a change to the original rule. Just stuff like that. None of these changes are going to go into effect until you vote on it. I'm not making up rules myself at this point. You guys will. Thank you all very, very much for watching, supporting the channel, maybe disabling ad blockers, to all of my patrons that allow me to even have a channel in the first place. And I hope you tune in next time. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Adios.